Right now on CBS Colorado Mornings, a family frustrated by the Cherry Creek School District, why the district refused their request to honor two students who died in a car crash.
Jefferson County is warning residents about a potential spike in property taxes. What could drive costs up more than expected?
And the Avs played in Ball Arena last night, but the Nuggets take the arena tonight. What it takes to make the switch from ice to hardwood. Good morning, everyone. You are watching CBS Colorado Mornings. It is Wednesday, April 19th. I'm Michelle Griego.
And I'm Brian Flores. Thank you so much for waking up with us. This is a Wednesday, but this is my first day.
It's your first day here. Welcome to the team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We had a lot of fun already getting to know each other over these past few days.
Already laughing where the producer has already told us wrap.
I know. It's like, stop talking, guys. We got to go to work now.
But it's great. It's so good to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's great for you to join us this morning as well. Let's get our first check on the weather this morning with Ashton. How's it looking out there?
Good morning to you, Brian. And again, welcome. We're glad you're here. We're watching several things for you this morning in the First Alert Weather Center. First and foremost, we transition into a brand new weather pattern today. Cooler and at times wetter weather for today through the start of the upcoming weekend. We won't even be back to normal again until Sunday at the earliest and probably Monday of next week. In the mountains today, we'll get snow here in the metro area. At the end of the day today, a few rain showers, including by the tail end of the Rockies game at Coors Field. And by this evening, we could have a little snow mixed in with the rain, but very little of any accumulation. And if there is any snow accumulation, it would not be on the roads. Roads would just remain wet. We could get a little bit on the grass this evening. We'll talk more about that coming up. Look at these temperatures today. 40s to start and then highs only in the 50s. So a far cry from the 78 degrees we had in Denver yesterday. All right, let's get over to McKinsey now in the First Alert Traffic Center. We're checking out your Wednesday morning drive. I'll have much more on the weather coming up in less than 5 minutes, McKinsey.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Ashton. Here's a look at one of our slower spots at this point this morning, I-270 at York Street. You can see these lanes here. These are eastbound lanes, very slow moving. Nothing too out of the ordinary for this time of the morning, but last check speeds were right around 38 miles per hour if you're heading eastbound. So one of our slower spots at this point. You can see that on the map, some of those stop and go colors and traffic starting to develop there through Commerce City. Our wide metro map is still showing a lot of green on the map, which of course is great as you head out the door. So no major crashes to report at this point, no major delays either. So things still looking good if you're headed out the door anytime soon. Here's a quick look at 225 on the east side of town. The southbound lanes clocking in at 66 mile per hour speeds. If you're heading southbound towards I-25 in the Tech Center, you have a 3-minute drive from Parker Road to I-25.
Mackenzie, thank you. An update in Commerce City now. Police found the car they believe was involved in a deadly hit and run last week. Take a look. That accident killed 16-year-old Carolyn Kincaid. The driver of that car has not yet been found, and police are asking for your help now to find the suspect.
Carolyn was killed while she was using the crosswalk just outside Monaco Elementary School at 76th and Layden. Now, Commerce City is taking action. At Monday's council meeting, community members presented a petition with more than 800 signatures calling for safer streets. The mayor listened to those calls, and council approved new measures to force drivers to slow down near schools.
To direct city staff to install speed tables on the streets adjacent to all schools located within Commerce City and to use these speed tables as elevated crosswalks.
The motion passed unanimously. The changes will cost between $750,000 to $1 million. The mayor hopes to have the speed tables installed by the start of next school year. Right now to Aurora, where the issue continues for Eagle Crest High School. The school is dealing with several tragedies there.
The parents of two students who died say the school has refused their request to honor the boys at graduation. Jaden Alvarado and Ryan Nolan were both seniors at Eagle Crest. In October, both were killed in a car crash. The Alvarado family asked the district to recognize the boys at graduation, but Cherry Creek said no. In a statement, CCSD said it's the, quote, district's practice to not recognize deceased students or staff at graduation ceremonies.
It was just a big punch in my gut. The one last thing that we were looking forward to be able to celebrate them was just taken away. I feel like they're taking out the human factor out of this graduation.
The Eagle Crest community is rallying behind both boys' families, calling on the Cherry Creek School District superintendent, the board, and principals to honor the boys in some way, like maybe saving empty seats. Eagle Crest is also mourning two teachers. Earlier this month, two teachers died, one from suspected meningitis. The other teacher's death was unrelated.
All right, happening today, a new safe space for East High School students will open. It's called the Angel Cafe. It's a response to recent violence at the school. The cafe is inside Church in the City at 16th and Gaylord, just a few blocks from East. The idea is to give students a safe space for their lunch break where they can just be kids. Angel Cafe will offer activities as well as cheap food and drinks for a few hours every week with the hopes of growing in the future.
The Colorado Gator Farm is mourning the deaths of some of their animals and reptiles. An overnight fire this week did serious damage to the popular tourist attraction in Alamosa County near the Great Sand Dunes. The general manager tells CBS Colorado that some animals, like the gators, managed to avoid the flames, but others, like the parrots, snakes, and many of the big tortoises, they died. There are no plans to rebuild the damaged parts of the farm just yet, but they do plan to take in more rescues.
All right, 6:05 right now to Jefferson County, where the county treasurer says your property taxes could be even higher this year than you were expecting. The state initially predicted an increase of just shy of 30%. Well, new data shows it may be closer to 40 or 50% in some areas. This year's assessments are based on last year's property values, which skyrocketed for many people. Douglas County is warning residents of similar tax spikes coming down the pipe. Advocates say it's time to look at long-term solutions.
I think that this is an issue that, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you want people to be able to, afford to stay in their homes.
In 2023, we have to have a different process than what we have right now, where we're looking back a year.
So the legislature has already lowered property assessment rates. If lawmakers are going to do more, they have about 19 days left to do so. So the Avs lost game one of their first round series against the Seattle Kraken last night. Mikko Rantanen had the only goal of the game for the Avs as they fell 3-1. They now trail the best of 7 series 1-0. It's only one game, y'all.
Just one.
Chill. We're good. The Avs and Kraken do play game 2 Thursday night at Ball Arena. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30.
Yes, and you're not allowed to be happy about the Avalanche loss to the Kraken. Brian, I'm just saying this because we know you just moved from Seattle.
Yes,
so
I know.
We need to ask the question, are you an Avs fan yet? I mean, they are the defending champs.
The Avs. Yes, I know that. God, you guys are putting me on the spot here already.
So you just say the right thing.
Okay. Well, I'm here now, everybody.
Okay.
Go Avs.
Go.
So.
That's right. I mean, we forced
You got
him.
me, Michelle.
We forced
you got
him,
me.
but
you got
it's
me.
all good. All right. The Avs, they're pretty easy to support, right?
Yeah.
Right now, the Nuggets need some support too. They made the playoffs too, so.
That's my team.
Big going.
That's my
you
team.
Do like the Nuggets.
I do love the Nuggets.
Yes.
And Kennedy Cook joining us from Ball Arena this morning. Kennedy, they're making the switch from the ice to the hardwood because the Nuggets play game 2 against the Timberwolves tonight. And yeah, they're going to dominate, right, Kennedy? Come on.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only option, right, Brian? Now, Ball Arena tells us that the switch from basketball to hockey is easy. It's just a matter of breaking things down. However, what we're seeing this time around is the switch from hockey to basketball, which takes a lot more time and a lot more work. Now, it takes up to 4 hours and 22 team members to build everything out. Now, this includes additional seating, hundreds of pieces of glass, cords, and ice. And safety is a major concern, especially in such a high-speed environment. Ball Arena says the job has become easier over time with upgrades to equipment, and the most rewarding part of the job is seeing it all play out on TV.
The appreciation with it is working with the guys, right, and seeing your finished product on TV. Honestly, I can't watch another team play because I'm always looking, what do they have different than us? I'm looking at the glass. Why is it like this? You know what I mean? So now watching a game, I'm looking at everything else, and the game's kind of like watching me because I'm looking at everything else that's on there.
Now, that court should be all ready for the Nuggets to beat the Timberwolves, to beat, demolish. What else? What other colorful words do we want to use? Embarrass, send them home crying tonight for that game. And that starts at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Don't mess with Kennedy this morning. She is on fire.
You forgot Crush.
Yes. I love it.
crush the Kraken. All right. Fingers crossed they can do it.
Yeah.
And at home, so that'll be great. All right, Kennedy, we're going to check back in with you in just a bit.
Let's check in with Ashton right now. Man, oh man, it could be active today, right?
Well, later on, yeah, Brian, we expect a few showers, but one thing we have done is really drop the fire danger for Denver in the Front Range. That's the good news here. The much cooler air coming in today means fire danger moves away from Metro Denver. We still have to watch out for our friends in southern Colorado, where we still have elevated and even critical fire danger for places like La Junta, down towards Springfield and into Prowers County for our friends in Lamar. It's 42 degrees right now downtown Denver. It's going to be a slow warm-up today. We're going to have sunshine to start, but then clouds take over by midday. We'll have overcast mid to late afternoon for sure. And highs today anywhere from 20 to 25 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. So make sure you're prepared for a much cooler day. Eventually that rain moving in. You can see the rain chances here just ramping up. And that's only part of the story because we got to have a few snowflakes mixed in. Brian and Michelle, we'll talk more about that coming up. I'll see you with the full forecast in less than 5 minutes.
All right, Ashton, we'll see you then. Ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings, a court case averted as Fox News agrees to a settlement with Dominion Voting Systems.
When you need to know, turn to CBS News Colorado.
Breaking news live as it happens.
Top headlines every half hour. First alert weather every 10 minutes.
Stream it now. The First Alert Weather Tracker, tracking the storm and your drive every hour, keeping your family safe. Driven by West Shore Home. Fast, easy, and convenient.
Covering the nation this morning, Colorado-based voting machine maker Dominion Voting Systems says Fox News has agreed to settle. The CEO of Dominion is calling the nearly $800 million settlement of its defamation suit historic. Dominion initially wanted $1.6 billion from Fox, claiming the news organization knew claims of election fraud were false when they aired them. The CDC is expected to sign off on another COVID-19 booster shot for seniors and people with weak immune systems. The FDA approved the updated guidance yesterday. Regulators also say all Americans getting doses of Pfizer or Moderna will start receiving the newest formula that protects against the Omicron variant as well. The 84-year-old Kansas City white man accused of shooting a black teenager after he accidentally went to the wrong home is due in court for an arraignment today. Andrew Lester faces 2 felony charges. He posted bond after surrendering to police on Tuesday. 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot in the head and the arm, and he is now recovering at home.
All right, let's get right over to Ashton again with a check on the weather outside.
Yeah, good morning to you, Brian. Sun's coming up this very moment, and we will see some sunshine early on today, and then the clouds will take over pretty quick. Temperatures are cooler than they were yesterday, but it's not going to be until later today that you really notice the change from the cold front that went by last night. Look at this 10-degree spread between downtown and the airport, 32 at DIA, 42 downtown. That's why we provide both numbers, because many of us live a little closer to downtown than the airport, but of course some of us are closer to the airfield. Anyway, wind coming out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Tonight we're going to have a freeze, a hard freeze in Denver. We may even get a little bit of light snow this evening, so you may be wondering, when does all of this end? When do we see the last of the snow and the freezing weather? Well, average last snow is about a week and a half from now, the 28th, but last year it took until the 21st of May. Our average last freeze is about 2.5 weeks from now, the 5th of May. But again, last year, it was late. Remember that? It snowed right before Memorial Day last year, and it was pretty cold as well. Satellite showing quite a bit of cloud cover in the mountains. These are the clouds that will make their way over toward Denver as the day goes on. We also have a little bit of snow falling over our northern mountains, and we'll see snow in the high country, including along the I-70 mountain corridor through the day today. For Denver, it's going to be after 2 p.m., we think, before we have a chance for some rain. And then again, as we get into the evening hours closer to sunset, a little bit of snow could mix in. We may have a little bit of minor accumulation on the grass, especially for areas south of Denver. As you get closer to Larkspur and Monument, and then even down toward the Springs, there could be up to an inch on some grassy surfaces. I'd be surprised if we get that much in Denver, and the roads will stay just wet. In the mountains, this time of year, usually huge variability with snowfall, and this spring storm will be no exception, anywhere from just an inch to up to 6 inches for some mountain areas. So temperatures today, a lot cooler than yesterday. We'll still see some 70s, however, in southern Colorado, so still have some fire weather concerns down south with a red flag warning starting at 11 a.m. for places like Pueblo. And then overnight tonight, again, a cold night. Single digits and teens in the mountains and a hard freeze here in Metro Denver with 28 or lower tonight. So this is why we've been saying don't turn on those sprinkler systems yet. Don't do the spring planting yet because we've still got some cold weather here in front of us. After tonight, we'll be mostly dry for tomorrow and Friday. Can't rule out a flurry or a sprinkle. Best chance for some moisture will be Friday night into Earth Day on Saturday. Saturday's high only 48 and then some sunshine on Sunday with a high of 60. I do want to mention the Rockies playing day ball today. 1:10 first pitch. Temperatures will be in the 50s. There could be a few showers by the end of the game. They're calling it History Day because I think they're doing a history of the Rockies.
Okay.
Not like history like this season's already
Like it's
history.
history.
No. I mean, I think they've lost like, what, 7 in a row?
Yeah, they're
so
not
maybe
playing
they'll
ball
turn
too
it
well
around.
right now.
Maybe they're just a day ball team, you know? Maybe it'll be better with playing.
Maybe.
Start.
Yeah.
I just thought I saw it was funny when they said History Day. I'm like, uh-oh. I think it's the history of the team.
They're not saying the
All right,
Rockies.
not yet. It's early yet.
Golly.
It's early yet.
All
A lot of baseball to go.
Yes,
We're going to check
exactly.
on our drive here. So here's a look at our mousetrap camera. I-70 near Pecos. Traffic moving right along I-70, so things are looking good. Our wide metro map is still showing a lot of green on the map, which is great to see. And then the usual spots, such as 270 through Commerce City, starting to slow up quite a bit at this point this morning. The speeds are right around 35 miles per hour in both directions. That really is our slowest spot at this point this morning. Other than that, things are looking wide open and clear as you head out the door.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you. We are excited to introduce you to 7-year-old Zodi. This week's Wednesday child is fearless, and as you will see, the kid's got a lot of energy.
A lot. So our Michaela White took him to the Children's Museum to splash around and make new memories.
Zodi, you want to come lead the way?
Zodi's eyes are full of wonder as we make our way through the Children's Museum of Denver at Marsico campus.
All right, Zodi, yes!
Exploring something new is right up his alley.
Pink is our color today. That is cool.
He is a free-spirited child who gladly takes on new challenges.
Okay, now.
As we check out a variety of exhibits. And when he's not on a sugar rush.
My favorite dessert is an Oreo gummy blizzard.
Loving and funny, Zodi is a fan of soccer and basketball. Really, he enjoys all sports.
Play baseball. Just like...
All right, just hitting those home runs. What makes Zodi Zodi? How would you describe yourself? Like to have fun?
Yeah.
Curious?
Yes.
Lots of energy?
Yes.
And for Zodi, family is everything. He even dreams of being a dad himself one day and having kids of his own and bringing them to places like this.
How are you feeling for the people that are giving you the opportunity to be here?
Good.
Good? Feeling good? And thankful?
But first, he says he's eager to have a permanent family to help him take on the world. I'm Michelle White, covering Colorado First.
And you can find out more about Zodi or any of the kids who need adoptive families. Just give Raise the Future a call. You see the numbers on your screen right there, 303-755-4756 or 800-451-5246. We also got more info on our website, cbscolorado.com. We got more news coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
First Alert Weather is not a slogan. It's our promise. As soon as we see something in the weather models, we're letting you know right away to keep you informed and to keep you safe. That's why we First Alert.
The Dog Walk forecast is sponsored by Subaru. Love is what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Welcome back. 6:23 is your time right now. Let's take a look at some of this morning's trending stories. And this is really amazing news, you guys. Damar Hamlin might be back to playing football soon.
I know. It's so great to hear that he's improving so much, Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So he's been cleared to resume football activities. The Buffalo Bills general manager gave that update yesterday. Amazing to see after that video. That was just a terrifying moment. So Hamlin hospitalized after he went into cardiac arrest on the field during a game against the Bengals in January. And it was just, as we were talking about, just terrifying to see that video. Doctors and trainers gave him CPR on the field. That was before he was taken away in an ambulance. And now the Bills say 3 specialists all agree Hamlin is good to go. So great news for him there. And this is interesting. We're also seeing some of that body camera video from the day Marvel star Jeremy Renner was run over by a snowplow. He was trying to save his nephew from getting hit by that plow, and that was instead. And Renner broke more than 30 bones. And in an interview with Diane Sawyer, he said he thought he was going to die. He says he wouldn't be alive if not for the first responders in that video and the doctors and the ICU team that took care of him. And Netflix is shutting down its DVD rental business after 25 years. The streaming giant will officially say goodbye to DVDs in the fall. The last red envelope will go out on September 29th. Now, Netflix has reportedly sent out more than 5 billion DVD and Blu-ray rentals to subscribers since the inception in 1998. And the company has been struggling a little bit lately as shares fell about 6% after the market closed yesterday. And to be honest, I didn't even know they sent out DVDs anymore. So,
I know. I was just about to say, when was I thought they'd stopped doing that already.
I know.
You still have a few more months.
I know. It was a funny story over the weekend. My kids wanted to watch a DVD, so they went looking for it, and the DVD player wasn't working very well, and apparently we haven't used it in a while. Yeah, everything's on stream.
You got to do it old school, so you got to blow into it and get the dust out of there. The old Nintendo system, right?
All right.
Mackenzie, thank you. The Avalanche and the Nuggets making the playoffs, of course, this year. So ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings, what Ballerina has to do to transform from the ice to the hardwood.
And at 6:25, we want to check your first alert travel forecast. Most of the nation in pretty good shape today, including the East Coast, the South, down into Florida. Look out for weather-related delays to and through Minneapolis today. They're going to have quite a bit of rain. We don't anticipate anything weather-related slowing things down at our airport this morning, but later today, weather-related delays are certainly possible with rain and eventually a little bit of light snow possible this evening. For now, all major airports are in good shape. Average delays at DIA, less than 15 minutes. We'll be right back.
Colorado's quickly changing weather can come with danger. Know what to expect. Stay safe with my forecast every day. That's why we First Alert.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by YMCA. Experience summer outside the box at YMCA Camp. Get started at denverymca.org.
Right now on CBS Colorado Mornings, DU students say they want answers from the university as they're waiting for data about sexual assaults on campus.
The Nuggets and the Avs are both in the playoffs, but with both games in just a few hours of each other, that switch from an ice arena to a ball arena is difficult. How they all do it up ahead.
We're starting to see some slower speeds on our interstates this morning as more people head out the door. I'll tell you where and the delays we're seeing this morning.
And good morning from the First Alert Weather Center. We're tracking a cold front that went by last night. Temperatures today will be 20 to 25 degrees cooler, and eventually we're going to get some rain and snow. We'll talk more about it coming up.
And a good morning, everybody. 6:30 on the dot. You're watching CBS Colorado Mornings. I'm the new guy. Good morning. I'm Brian Flores.
We're so happy to have you. I'm Michelle Griego, the old girl.
I didn't say that. No, I did not say that. Don't get me in trouble here.
No, but it is great to welcome you.
Thank you.
We know we welcomed you a few times this morning.
Yes,
and we're going to welcome you later with none other than food, because that's how we do it here.
Oh, I like that.
On our team. Yes, for
nice.
sure.
Very cool. Looking forward.
Yeah. All right. Let's get over to Ashton Altieri in the Weather Center right now. Can't wait for that food.
I can't either. I love this. It's the Brian Flores Welcome Party, the Brian Flores Love Fest. We're so excited to have him with us here this morning and for a while, right? Hopefully a long, long while. Live look downtown Denver this morning. Sun came up at 6:15, a little hazy outside with that cold front that came through last night. It's 42 degrees right now downtown. We're going to give the morning bus stop forecast a B this morning. It is cooler. Make sure the kids are prepared. They're going to need a jacket. Probably could have gotten away without one yesterday, but they will need one today. We're going to give it a C on the afternoon bus stop forecast grade today because showers will move in. The very end of the school day, it could be raining in some spots for the bus stop this afternoon, and then a better chance of rain as we get into the evening, and eventually it could get cold enough to see that rain change into a little snow. Mackenzie, we're not expecting any accumulation here in town. The roads would just be wet. But just like what happened last Friday, whenever snow's falling, that always slows things down. So something we'll have to watch for the evening commute later today.
Yeah, something to keep in mind as you head out the door this morning. Thanks so much, Ashton. Let's get a check on your morning drive. 270 eastbound lanes at York Street. This is an area with significant slowing at this point this morning. Really the slowest spot we're keeping an eye on, so we'll take a look at those drive times in just a moment. You can see those stop and go speeds right here in that area. So that is, again, the slowest spot. But other than that, things still moving pretty well for the morning, this time of the morning, 6:30, usually start to see some of those slower speeds as more people head out the door. No crashes to report just yet, which is, of course, great news as well. Let's get a check on those drive times coming in from the north. I-25 Thornton to Denver, 12-minute drive between 120th to I-70. US 36 Broomfield to Denver, 8-minute drive there. That's been like that all morning, so looking good there. And then 270 through Commerce City, certainly slowing up quite a bit. Those westbound lanes closer to I-70, clocking in at 22-mile-per-hour speeds, eastbound 34. So Commerce City at 270, certainly the slowest spot at this point this morning. And then if you're headed out westbound I-76, you have a 10-minute drive between US 85 and I-25.
Mackenzie, thank you. Right now, Fort Collins police are looking for a hit-and-run driver. A man was hit and killed walking across the street at East Mulberry and South Washington Streets. Police believe the man was hit by 2 cars. Neither stayed on scene. They believe one of the cars they're looking for is a dark-colored Chevy Colorado pickup like this. It has damage on the front.
In Denver, students at DU want answers about campus safety. A university survey shows many students don't believe there's a safe culture over at DU.
And many say they are tired of waiting to see the results, particularly when it comes to sexual assault. In 2020, sexual assault survivors held a silent protest to tell DU the university could do better. And now they say it's the university that's been silent. Last year's campus climate survey measured the experiences with sexual assault and other gender-based violence.
Clearly shown them that students want this data. We've spoken to Title IX, we've spoken to CAPE, we've spoken to Thrive.
So in a statement to CBS Colorado, DU says, quote, the data is in the final pre-release stage now and will be available in the coming weeks, if not sooner.
Colorado Springs is countersuing the company that built the visitor center at the top of Pikes Peak. The city accuses the builder of doing shoddy work on the parking lot and wastewater system. Business Den has the story. G.E. Johnson is based in Colorado Springs and also built the U.S. Olympic Committee headquarters. Last month, the company sued the city of Colorado Springs, claiming the city refused to reimburse the company for work delays caused by the city and the pandemic.
In Fort Collins, students at Colorado State University want the city to change a housing ordinance. The U+2 rule prevents anyone from living with more than 2 non-relatives. The university has not had enough housing for its students over the past 2 years. Right now, students are getting the attention of the mayor, who agrees something needs to change.
We have a large housing supply issue. We have an affordability issue as well. I think it's time to re-examine our occupancy ordinance.
Now, it isn't exactly clear what adjustments the city might make to the current ordinance. The mayor says the city could consider adding zones for the U+2 ordinance.
Well, the Avalanche, they had a bit of a disappointing showing last night, just a bit at Ball Arena. The team lost their first playoff game.
It's only 1 out of 7.
Exactly.
So we're still got plenty of time, plenty of hockey left. Definitely not what we like to see. But Coach Bednar says the team has to take it up a notch, he says, to get the cup twice in a row.
You have to expect to play your best hockey if you want to win. And we weren't at our best tonight. That wasn't our best game, wasn't even close. And if we want to win, we'll have to be much better.
We know we've seen the Avs play better. So we know they have it in them.
They have it in them for sure. Hopefully in game 2, the Avs can get that W and we get that much closer. But it's not just the Avs we're watching.
No, it's not.
Town, I'm telling you. The Nuggets, they play game 2 in their playoff run tonight at Ball Arena.
I love Nuggets basketball, I'll tell you. Kennedy Cook joining us from Ball Arena this morning. She loves Nuggets basketball as well, as you hear from the words describing what could happen later today. And Kennedy, there's a lot of work that goes into making that switch from hockey to basketball as well.
Good morning, Brian and Michelle. Now, today is Avs and Nuggets Day, or season, I should say, all year around, right? Now, that transition from changing the basketball court to a hockey court is not an easy one, but it certainly is not something that they have not done before. Now, we were able to find this time lapse from January of 2019 when crews had mere hours to make that switch over. Now, the Avs had played at 1 p.m. and they had to be basketball ready for a Nuggets tip-off at 7 that same day. Now, Ball Arena tells us they usually do it in 4 hours, and it usually takes a team of about 22 people to build everything out. Now, this includes additional seating, hundreds of pieces of glass, cords, and ice, and safety is a major concern, especially in such a high-speed environment. Now, we spoke with the conversions manager, who says their job certainly helps bring everything all together.
Definitely say we're the backbone. Yep, it all begins here. And a lot of my crew has been here just as long as me, so well-oiled machine.
Well, let's hope that oiled machine is nice and oiled and ready for the Nuggets to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at 8 o'clock. And we're sending them home, guys, in tears, head down, just ashamed because our Nuggets are they're gonna do what they need to do.
Head down in tears.
That's what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm with you, Kennedy. I love it.
I'm with you too.
Yeah.
Loving that. All right. Thank Kennedy. Thank you so much. 6:37. Let's talk to Ashton about the weather today. How's it looking?
You know, it's looking all right. Live look from the top of Copper Mountain this morning. That's one of the mountains that's going to be closing for the season this upcoming weekend. They're going to get some snow, anywhere from just an inch or two to up to 6 or 7 inches of snow expected in the Colorado high country for today. Down here in the metro area, we have a chance for a little bit of rain after 2 or 3 p.m. And then eventually some snow could mix in this evening, similar to what happened back on Friday of last week. But we're expecting very little, if any, accumulation. And if we do get any accumulation, it would be on the grass, rooftops, vehicles, not the roads. The roads will just stay wet. But look at how much cooler these temperatures will be today. Remember, yesterday was 78 degrees in Denver. Today will be at least 20 degrees cooler than yesterday, maybe even 25 degrees cooler in some neighborhoods. Sun will set at 7:41. By this afternoon into this evening, the clouds will take over, so we're not going to see much of a sunset. Rain chances really ramp up the second half of the day, getting up to about 70-80% chance for moisture. I'll say moisture because it could be rain and or snow by 7 p.m. We're going to talk about all this in much more detail coming up. We have your all-important weekend forecast coming up soon as well. Brian, we're getting closer and closer.
Yes, we are. Ashton, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Right ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings, the city of Aurora trying to get ahead of the summer lifeguard shortage.
And after a rocky day for Southwest Airlines, things finally seem to be back under control.
First alert weather, from a big storm threatening to what you need to know to plan the perfect outdoor Colorado weekend. We're always here to get you ready. That's why we first alert.
CBS Colorado Business is sponsored by Carpet Exchange, your floor store.
All right, 6:41 is the time. The man, the myth, the legend, meteorologist
like
Ashton Altieri.
He's only been here a few hours. I like this guy.
Yeah,
That's
I like it too,
By
man.
the way, my favorite part about Brian is that he's a dude. I mean, I love you, Michelle and Mackenzie, but we needed to balance a little bit.
He
here
just
in the
needs
morning.
backup, Brian.
I
That's
know.
the only thing.
I got you, Ashton.
For a while,
I got you, my friend.
I need you. You got to have my back. Live look from the top of Vail this morning, looking out toward the Gore Range. What a beautiful shot there from Eagle County. We're going to see a little snow develop in the high country today. We could see anywhere from an inch or two to up to 6 or 7 inches of snow. And by the way, Vail is one of the mountains that will be closing for the season this upcoming weekend, along with Copper. Purgatory calls it quits on Sunday. Winter Park shuts down their lifts for the final time Sunday afternoon. And then Loveland will go on a little bit longer. And then most likely we'll be just left with Arapahoe Basin and Breckenridge into later in May. Satellite showing quite a bit of cloud cover in the mountains. Those clouds are making their way toward Metro Denver. We are going to see the increasing clouds through the day here along the Front Range. Snow in the high country will eventually translate into a chance for a little rain in Metro Denver after 2 or 3 p.m. And then especially up along the I-76 corridor in northeast Colorado, pretty good chance for moisture this evening, rain and or snow. By the time the sun sets, there's just not going to be much moisture left for Denver, but I think we will see some snow along the Palmer Divide coming up this evening into the late night hours. And there could even be some minor accumulation down near Monument, Larkspur, even down toward the Air Force Academy, maybe up to an inch there. Anything here in Metro Denver that's able to accumulate would only be on the grass, and it'd be well under an inch. Meanwhile, in the mountains, anywhere from just an inch or two to up to 6 or 7 inches of snow. It's that time of year where we usually see huge variability with snowfall amounts in the high country, and this spring storm will be no exception. Look how much cooler it will be today. After 78 yesterday, we're only going to be in the mid to upper 50s today, still in the 70s down south, and we do still have fire weather concerns from the springs southward. The Highway 50 corridor down south from Pueblo over to Lamar and farther south towards Springfield. Red flag warning starting at 11 a.m. today. And then look at this tonight. Single digits and teens in the mountains, 20s here in the metro area. We could have a hard freeze tonight and tomorrow night. So that's why I've been saying don't start with the spring planting yet. Don't turn the sprinkler systems on yet. You may be okay with the sprinkler systems by the end of this weekend. We will start warming back up. 60 on Sunday. And then a chance for a few thunderstorms early next week. Yeah, it's going to be that time of year, Mackenzie. How's the drive looking?
Yeah, I love it. All right, thanks, Ashton. The drive is looking good. Starting to see some slower speeds on a few of our interstates, so things slowing up quite a bit around the metro area. This here's a look at our CDOT camera at I-225 in the southbound lanes near Parker Road. You can see how slow traffic is moving as you approach I-25 in the tech center there. So one of our trouble spots at this point this morning. Here's that wide metro map. You can see just some of those slower speeds coming in from the north side of town as well as the east side of town. At last check, 270 through Commerce City was very slow, speeds in the 30s in both directions. But do want to give you a quick look at those drive times on the east. 225, where we're just taking a look at the southbound lanes, 23-mile-per-hour speeds with an 8-minute drive between Parker Road to I-25. And then I-70 through downtown Denver, starting to slow up slightly in those westbound lanes, 44-mile-per-hour speeds with a 12-minute drive from I-225 to I-25.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you. We continue covering Colorado first this morning as one community is trying to get ahead of a lifeguard shortage this summer. Aurora pools were forced to close last summer because of a lack of lifeguards. The city says it has more than 100 positions it's looking to fill before those pools open up. City officials say they want to fill these positions so pools can be open all year rather than just the summer. So this year, they're looking to hire a more, they say, non-traditional or non-student type of lifeguard, they say. One longtime pool goer ended up becoming a lifeguard.
As somebody in my age group, I think it's great because the hours are flexible. You can choose the hours you want that fits into, time with family, time with grandkids.
So outdoor pools open Memorial Day weekend. Mostly part-time jobs are left to fill, and you must be 15 years old to apply. You can find the link on our website, cbscolorado.com. Denver voters will decide on a new mayor in June. The crowded field of more than a dozen candidates has been narrowed down to just 2. A runoff election will be between Kelly Brough and Mike Johnston. Brough received an endorsement from former Denver Mayor Wellington Webb.
Her character, her intellect, she has experience attracting business and economic development to Denver.
The runoff election, by the way, is scheduled for Tuesday, June 6th. And our political specialist, Sean Boyd, hosted a debate between Brough and Johnston. You can find that on our website again at cbscolorado.com. 6:46, Michelle and Ashton have our dog walk forecast right now.
Oh, and we have a cute little dog. Obviously loves the snow.
Clearly. And I think we have a winner here, Michelle, for longest dog name perhaps we've ever had here on the Dog Walk Forecast. May I introduce you to Lady Mabel Misfit Monroe.
Say that fast 5 times.
Shane Monroe from Lions has shared this border terrier with us. Lady Mabel Misfit Monroe's favorite thing in the world is to give kisses, lots and lots of kisses. Clearly enjoys spending some time in the snow as well. We'll go with a green paw early today. We'll turn that into a yellow paw later today. If you can get the dog walk in earlier versus later today, that would be best. cbscolorado.com/dogwalk, the place to share your pups with us.
I would just call her Lady for short.
Yeah,
hey, Lady.
Yeah.
Come here.
Quite the name.
That is quite the Lady Mabel Misfit Monroe.
I got a feeling Misfit was maybe added later,
Yeah.
Perhaps, based on behavior. I don't know.
Correct.
I don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much. You have a dog.
Yeah.
A brand new dog, right?
5 months old. Yeah.
How's
Been
it going
watching
with
him
you?
on the camera. He's
Right now?
cuddled up on the couch right now. Yeah, a little jealous of that. But it's been
I know,
good.
right?
Yeah.
I know. I want to sleep too.
Well, if you're headed out the door, things are looking good for you. We don't have any major crashes, which is great. So no crashes tying you up this morning. We do just have some of those delays as far as more people out on the roadways. So 225 southbound lanes slowing up quite a bit, as well as 270 through Commerce City. But again, nothing too out of the ordinary for this point of the morning, Brian.
All right, not too bad at all. Mackenzie, thank you. Ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings, a new study showing which cars have the most problems. The brand that took 4 of the top 5 spots for most recalls. We'll have that next.
Our weather is constantly changing. First Alert Weather is our commitment to you to keep you informed about that changing weather all the time. That's why we First Alert.
All right, to your Money Watch now. Southwest Airlines has resumed normal operations after a technology glitch temporarily grounded the company's fleet Tuesday morning.
Even though the software malfunction lasted less than an hour, it led to more than 2,200 flight delays. That's according to FlightAware. It's sort of deja vu for us. Bring back some memories of that December logistical meltdown at Southwest. Remember that?
I do.
We felt this rash of delays at DIA. Flight boards just riddled with delayed notifications.
Hopefully we don't go back to that again.
No.
All right, so Tesla is the nation's most recalled car brand. That's according to a new study by IC Cars. Tesla Model Ys, by the way, topped that list of recalls. Owners can expect 62 recalls over the 30-year projected lifespan of the Model Y. Porsche's Panamera took second place, but Tesla took the other 3 spots in the top 5 with the Models 3, S, and X. Mercedes-Benz models had the fewest projected recalls.
Let's get to Ashton now. now on the First Alert weather deck. 42 degrees out there. Does it feel like it?
Yeah, it definitely feels a little cooler than it did yesterday. But of course, the sunshine helps. And for now, we have quite a bit of sunshine along the Front Range. Clouds have already taken over in the high country. We even have a little bit of snow in our northern mountains this morning. And later today, that moisture in the high country, it will make its way out here onto the urban corridor. So we do have some rain in the forecast, mostly after 2 or 3 p.m. today. But a few raindrops could happen even sooner. And then by this evening, after about 7 or 8 o'clock, it should be cold enough in the metro area to at least have some snow mix in with the rain. We're expecting very little, if any, accumulation. And if we do get anything that manages to accumulate, it would only be on the grass, not the roads. The roads will just stay wet here below about 6,500 to 7,000 feet or so. Temperatures top out in the mid to upper 50s today. Remember, yesterday it was 78 degrees in Denver. So, yeah, it's a little cooler this morning. You'll notice the change a little bit this morning, but you're going to especially notice the change this afternoon behind the cold front that went by last night. And then with the rain chances, you can see them ramping up late in the day today. Coming up, we'll take one final look at your First Alert Super 7-day forecast. I'll see you in less than 5 minutes.
We will see you then. Ashton, thank you. Ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings, Commerce City taking action to make streets around schools safer after a teenager is killed in a crosswalk.
Many of us have been dealing with Colorado weather for a long time, but it can still be a challenge. We want you to be ready so you can stay safe. That's why we First Alert.
Welcome back, everybody. We are covering the stories you need to know before you go this morning. A late night and early morning over at Ball Arena, where crews made the quick transformation from hockey to basketball. Our Kennedy Cook has been outside Ball Arena all morning, going from hockey to basketball. Kennedy, pretty tough conversion here.
Good morning, Brian. Now, Ball Arena tells us that switch from basketball to hockey is easy. It's just really a matter of breaking things down. But what we're seeing here is a switch from hockey to basketball, which takes a lot more time and a lot more work. Now, it takes up to 4 hours and 22 team members to build everything out. This includes additional seating, hundreds of pieces of glass, cords, and ice. And safety is a major concern, especially in such a high-speed environment. Now, Ball Arena says the job has become easier over time with upgrades to equipment. Now, that court should be all ready to go this evening, just in time for the Nuggets to beat bad the Timberwolves. Brian, I'm going to go ahead and send that back to you.
Yeah, we like that. All right, Kennedy, thank you. An update now in Commerce City. Police found the car they believe was involved in a deadly hit and run last week. That crash killed 16-year-old Carolyn Kincaid. The driver of the car has not yet been found, and police are asking for your help now to find the suspect.
Yeah, Carolyn was killed while she was just using the crosswalk just outside Monaco Elementary School at 76th and Layden. And now Commerce City is taking action. At Monday's council meeting, community members presented a petition with more than 800 signatures calling for safer streets. The mayor listened to those calls, and council approved new measures to force drivers to slow down near schools.
Move to direct city staff to install speed tables on the streets adjacent to all schools located within Commerce City, and to use these speed tables as elevated crosswalks.
That motion, by the way, passed unanimously. The changes will cost between $750,000 to $1 million. The mayor hopes to have the speed tables installed by the start of next school year.
Mackenzie has one last check on your drive this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Things slowing down on our major interstates. Another look here at the southbound lanes of 225 near Parker Road. Very slow as you approach I-25 in the tech center there. One of our slowest spots at this point this morning. Speeds right around 25 miles per hour. Here's a look at that wide metro map. Again, just some slower speeds as more people head out the door. The good news is no major crashes to report for you impacting your morning drive. So let's give you a quick look at some of those speeds and drive times coming in from the north. Thornton to Denver, southbound lanes average speed 35 miles per hour. US 36 looking wide open and clear at this point. And then one of our slow spots, 270 through Commerce City, that is continuing to slow up. Those westbound lanes, you have a 16-minute drive in between I-70 to I-25.
McKinsey, all that wind we had yesterday afternoon and evening, all that wind was ahead of a cold front that rolled through last night. And behind that front, it's going to be noticeably cooler today. You may not notice much of a change this morning, but you'll notice later today when temperatures are stuck in the 50s and eventually cloud cover takes over. A few scattered rain showers possible at the end of the day today. And then this evening, rain or snow possible. If we get any kind of accumulation in town, it's going to be limited to just grassy surfaces, rooftops, vehicles, anything elevated, and it would be under an inch of snow if we actually get any accumulation in Metro Denver. If you're above about 6,000 to 6,500 feet south along the Palmer Divide. You could end up with maybe a little bit of minor accumulation, especially on some side streets. Tomorrow and Friday, it stays cool, and Saturday, only 48 for Earth Day, and then we start warming back up Sunday into early next week. Brian?
All right, Ashton, thank you. And while spring brings the return of warmer weather, obviously, it can also mean severe weather, including lightning, hail, and, of course, tornadoes.
And this May will mark 15 years since an F3 tornado ravaged the then small town of Windsor, and the Windmill Child Enrichment Center was in the direct path.
Our ears were popping, and we knew it was on us then. Toys from the playground actually had flown through and were hitting the back of that wall that I was sitting on.
Miraculously, no one was hurt, and since then, we've seen remarkable stories of resilience and rebuilding. And you can learn more about how tornadoes form and the differences between watches and warnings in our First Alert Weather Spring Special, airing Friday night at 6:30 right here on CBS News Colorado.
Ahead on CBS Colorado Mornings at 9, hailstorms are some of Colorado's most expensive storms. What you need to know ahead of the next one, and whether it's work, family, or finances. Many of us are feeling increased stress every single day, so we're talking to a local expert about how to manage it all.
And of course, Brian, you made it through the
I made it.
show.
I did it.
That's awesome. You did such a great job.
But we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. No, we're not done yet. But we do have a little
not?
gift for you because you just moved from Seattle.
Yes.
You probably forgot what sunshine looks like. So you need some sunglasses.
Oh, my gosh.
And then,
Ooh.
what does it say on
It
the...
says CBS Colorado on the side. Oh, I like that.
You read it